Alright, hi again, Emma. We are back today for the series where I talk about all the games I'm interested in the upcoming month. The month for this video is June of 2023, so as always, let's just get right into it. First off, on the 8th is the Summers Games Fest hosted by Jeff Keighley, as always, and it's always good to see him back. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really have much to say about Leicester, so I'm pretty sure I didn't even do anything about it, but it's always a bit of excitement. It's back to the E3 days, which is unfortunately gone now, but we need something in between, and it's good to have something in between the Game Awards too. So if you want to see some new announcements, upcoming projects, updates, all that good stuff, I'm sure I'll have something on the screen where you can watch it live somewhere around here. We'll see how good I am. If not, just Google Summer Games Fest. It's only the first thing you find. But now on to the actual games. On the first we have Etrian Odyssey Origins, which as far as I can tell is a JRPG franchise from the mid 2000s. I've never played it, but I'm always up for a good new turn-based JRPG, or a good new JRPG. And you know what? 3 for in a collection. I'm willing to check it out if nothing else, depending on the price. It's not going to be a high priority, but I'll give it a look. It's on my radar. Of course, even though I'm not the most excited in the world for it, Street Fighter 6 is obviously a big one, and that's coming out in the second, which is, I played Street Fighter 4. It was fine, I had fun, I respect the franchise a lot, but the big deal here is apparently there's a bigger story mode from people are saying it's more worth it for that alone. They seem to have an open world kind of thing going on, mini games. It really feels like they're innovating a lot, and potentially it could be the first Street Fighter game I buy brand new. That's a fucking lie. Potentially, this could be the earliest I ever pick up a Street Fighter. It might be the only time I buy one, except for a cheap copy I have somewhere lying around from that I got probably for like €10. But you know, I'm actually kind of interested. I want to see where they go with this. I want to see how different it is, and I want to see how that feels to the long time lovers of the series too.
This is our destiny. My secret art. Street Fighter 6.
We Love Katamari Reroll plus Royal Reverie is also coming out in the second. If you don't know what Katamari is, it's this bizarre, wacky game where you basically just roll up everything around you into a giant, unrecognizable mass to this point of buildings, planets, all just in this giant, over-the-top, silly game. I played one on PS3, did not like the controls, so hopefully this can be at least a little bit better for me. But it's always kind of silliness I am happily up for. And depending on price, I could pick this up pretty quickly. I don't know. Either way, it's good to see the series still going strong all these years later.
Rolling on and on. Dads love Katamari, moms love Katamari, grandpas and grandmas love Katamari, friends and teachers love Katamari, this kid, that kid, your inner kid. We love Katamari Reroll Plus. Royal Reverie!
Thank you.
Another one I probably won't pick up anytime soon, but I know I have to mention Diablo 4. I don't think I need to say anything about the Blizzard controversy these last few years. So even if I'm not that interested in Diablo, I am genuinely fascinated by how the next couple of weeks will go. Will it be the one bright spot in the few years of Blizzard? Will it be the final nail in the coffin? I cannot wait to see the stories that are going to pop up in the next couple of weeks. Even if I don't care about the game much itself, I think it is going to be a fucking journey. I don't think, even if you don't care, that there's a chance you're going to miss out on some of this. You're going to hear the name Diablo 4 a few times in the next couple of weeks. I promise you that, if you're keeping up in the absolute slightest. On the 6th, we have probably one of the biggest games of this year for me. Even though I didn't put on my top 10 games of a 2023 video, It popped up my radar a couple months ago and it has been on there since, and I cannot wait. It's Loop 8 Summer of Gods, which as far as I can tell from the little I've looked into it, because I don't want to know too much, it's a mix between JRPG, anime style, life simulator, visual novel, time loop, and goodness. I don't know about anyone else, but this sounds so far up my alley I can't even believe it. It feels like Persona but with a time loop, and that, if that sounds good to you at all, I highly recommend checking this out. I can't find any information on the team that developed it, but this is what I'm going to take a chance on. And sometimes the random games you take a chance on with no information are the ones you would kind of cherish the most.
These feelings are so very real to me.
We're just linked by fate.
Don't you feel like you've lucked out?
Lots of memories from my old life.
I'm not waving my hand around for exercise.
You don't gain levels in this world. Your choices shape the world.
Of course, the biggest game, which is no surprise to anyone who's even vaguely familiar with me, for this year, the top game above anything else, on the 22nd, Final Fantasy 16. I originally thought this would be the game that would make me get a PS5. Even before it was announced, I think I always knew a Final Fantasy game was probably going to be the one. I'm still not sure about the combat, but from little snippets I have seen accidentally, because I've stayed completely away from this game since the start of the year, because if you've ever seen a Square Enix final trailer, you know why I'm staying away. They have no restraint for spoilers, in the fucking slightest. But the snippets I have seen, especially in certain ways, have just blown me away. I cannot wait to try this out. We're only over 3 weeks away. Final Fantasy is always the one franchise I'm always going to be excited to see more from. I am so fucking ready. And I have been for a long time. So let's hope it can deliver something fun. I don't care what, just something.
The legacy of the crystals has shaped our history. For long enough. I'll kill you. If it's the last thing I do.
I do also want to mention Tokyo Xanadu X is coming out on the 29th on Switch. It's been out on other consoles for years, but I think this is a really underrated little gem. It's kind of like Persona, but more action based, to be honest. And I do think the gameplay is a lot better. The story not as quite as up to that level, but gameplay wise I think it's kind of a trade-off. Gameplay can be significantly better, but the story not as much. And the characters aren't as great, but I really do recommend trying this out if it's not too expensive when it comes out. And lastly, to be announced apparently on sometime in the month, which again, that's what they said about System Shock. That's what they said about a different game too, I can't remember what it was. None of them came out in that month. It's probably going to be delayed, but Crime Boss Rockay City looks like it could be fun. It has a very all-star cast. It's been out on PC for a few months, but it's finally coming out on everything else too. It seems to be kind of a crime boss open first-person shooter kind of game. I have no idea what to expect really. But if you remember seeing this when it did get announced, you might remember a game with actors like Chuck Norris, Danny Glover, Kim Basinger, and the most important, best for last, Vanilla Ice. Are you going to tell me you don't want to play a game with Chuck Norris and Vanilla Ice? You going to lie to me and say you don't want that? Oh, what a world we live in. But yeah, apparently it's come out in the end of the month. I don't believe it, but I feel like I should mention it. And that's pretty much it. Not exactly a packed month, but there are some heavy hitters. And more important, I think it's a very varied list of games as well. If you like fighting games, you got things like Street Fighter. Games I don't have much interest in, even though I didn't mention like the new Amnesia game are coming out. If you like horror games, obviously for RPGs, there's Final Fantasy 16. It's not a huge packed month, but the games that are coming out are really heavy hitters in their respective genre. So there is definitely something for everybody, I think, this month. And as always, let me know if I missed anything. Let me know what you're looking forward to, all that good stuff. And I'll see you for the next one.
Have been added. Work hard to become the was it not?
Without the blessing of the Mother Crystal.